Hello students, I hope you all are fine and taking very good care of yourselves. In today's session, we are going to take Chapter 1 of Class 8 Science, Crop Production and Management. Before taking this chapter, let me ask you a few questions. Question number 1, why do we eat food? So answer is very simple. We eat food because we cannot live without food. Now the second question, from where does we get this food? So answer is, farmers produce grains, crops and other things in the fields and they send it to the market, and from where we purchase it. Now the next question, India has such a large population, so how we are able to cater the need of such a large population? So answer is, India is self-sufficient in food production and we are able to provide food to such a large population. But to provide food to the growing population, we need to have proper and regular production, management and supply. Today we shall learn about agricultural practices, basic practices of crop production and storage. First of all, let us learn about agriculture and crops. Crop, same kind of plants grown and cultivated at a place constitute a crop. As we all know, there are many crops, but according to the season, crops can be broadly categorized into two types, Kharif crops, Rabi crops. Let us first take Kharif crops. These crops are those crops which are sown in rainy season. The rainy season in India is generally from June to September. Some example of Kharif crops are paddy, maize, groundnut and cotton. Second type of crop is Rabi crops. The crops grown in the winter season are called Rabi crops. Time period of Rabi crops is from October to March. Some examples are wheat, gram, pea, mustard, etc. After discussing the type of crops, now we will discuss about agricultural practices. Cultivation of crops involves several activities undertaken by farmers over a period of time. These activities or tasks are called agricultural practices. Agricultural practices involve following activities. Number 1, preparation of soil. Number 2, sowing. Number 3, adding manure and fertilizers. Number 4, irrigation. Number 5, protecting from weeds. Number 6, harvesting. Number 7, storage. Students, the first step before growing a crop is preparation of soil. One of the most important tasks of agriculture is to turn and loosen the soil. This allows roots to penetrate deep into the soil and also help roots to breathe easily. The loosened soil helps in the growth of earthworms and microbes. These organisms are farmer friendly as they further turn and loosen the soil and add humus to it. Turning and loosening of soil bring nutrient-rich soil to the top so that plant can use these nutrients. The process of loosening and turning soil is called tilling or plowing. To do this work, we need agricultural implements. Earlier, this work was done by a plow. This is being used since ancient times for tilling and removing weeds. A plow is made up of wood and iron. The main part of the plow is a long log of wood which is called a plow shaft. There is a handle at the other end of the shaft. The other end is attached to a beam which is placed on the bull's neck. It also has a strong triangular iron strip which is called plowshare. One pair of bulls and a man can easily operate the plow. Let's now know about another implement, hoe. It is a simple tool used for removing weeds and loosening the soil. It has a long rod of wood or iron, and a strong, broad and bent plate of iron is fixed to the one end of the rod. It acts like a blade. Nowadays, cultivator is used for the work. It saves labor as well as the time. Next step is to level the land, which makes sowing and irrigation easy to do. It is done with the help of a leveling board. Students, now after preparation of the soil, the most important step is sowing. Sowing requires the selection of good quality of seeds. Now the question arises, how to select the good quality and healthy seeds? For this, we are going to perform an activity. For this, let's take a sample of seeds and put them in a container containing water. After some time, you will notice that some seeds have started floating. Those seeds which are floating in the water are hollow. Damaged seeds become hollow and are lighter. Those which settle down are healthy seeds. This method is a good method for separating good, healthy seeds from damaged ones. Now, let us see how sowing is done. After sowing, the next step is to add manure and fertilizers. The substances which are added to the soil to maintain the level of nutrients are called manures and fertilizers. These nutrients are essential for the growth of the plants. Continuous growing of crops make the soil poorer in certain nutrients. To replenish the nutrients, farmers add manure or fertilizers to the soil. Manure is an organic substance obtained from the decomposition of plants or animal waste. Farmers dump plants and animal waste in pits at open places and allow it to decompose. The decomposition is caused by some microorganisms. The decomposed matter is used as organic manure. The use of manure improves soil texture and increases the water retaining capacity. But nowadays, we are mostly using chemical fertilizers. Fertilizers are chemical substances which are rich in particular nutrients. Fertilizers are produced in factories. Some examples of fertilizers are urea, ammonium sulfate, superphosphate, potash, NPK, where NPK stands for nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Using these fertilizers, farmers are getting better yield of crops, and it has proved beneficial for the farmers, and our country has become self-sufficient. But do you know the excessive use of fertilizers can be harmful? Excessive use of fertilizers had made soil less fertile. Moreover, fertilizers have also become a source of water pollution. Therefore, in order to maintain fertility of the soil, we have to substitute fertilizers by organic manures. Let us learn about advantages of using manure. The use of manure improves soil texture and water retaining capacity. It makes soil porous, due to which exchange of gases become easy. It helps in increasing the number of friendly microbes. Now, after adding manure, it is time to do the irrigation. The supply of water to crops at different intervals is called irrigation. Let us now see the advantages of irrigation. First of all, it helps in germination of the seeds. Secondly, it protects the crop from both frost and hot air currents. It helps to maintain the moisture of the soil for healthy crop growth. Now, we shall learn about sources of irrigation. The sources of irrigation are wells, tube wells, ponds, rivers, dams, and canals. Now, how we do irrigation? There are traditional methods and modern methods in use. Traditional methods include use of moat, means pulley system, use of chain pumps, dhekli, and rahat. Rahat is also known as lever system. Let us see the use of rahat. The main methods that are in use are sprinkler system, drip system of irrigation. Modern methods of irrigation help us to save water. Now, we shall learn about protection from weeds. In the fields, many other undesirable plants may grow along with the crops. These undesirable plants are called weeds. The removal of weed is called weeding. Farmers adopt many ways to remove weeds and control their growth. Tilling before sowing of crops helps in uprooting and killing of weeds. With this, weeds dry up and get mixed with the soil. The best time for removal of weeds is before they produce flowers and seeds. Physical removal of weeds means uprooting or cutting them close to the ground from time to time. This is done by using khurpi or harrow. You can see a person doing weeding. Weeding is very important because weeds compete with the crop plants for nutrients, space and sunlight. Thus they affect the growth of the crop and interfere in harvesting. Moreover, some weeds are poisonous for animals and human beings. Methods to control weeds: manual removal, using seed drills to uproot weeds, by plowing, using chemicals known as weedicides, for example 2,4-D and butachlor. After this comes harvesting. The cutting of crop after it is mature is known as harvesting. It usually takes 3 to 4 months for a cereal crop to mature. Now, let us know which implements are used for harvesting of crop. Usually, a sickle is used for harvesting, but nowadays a machine called harvester is used for harvesting. Threshing. In the harvested crop, the grain seeds need to be separated from the chaff. This process is called threshing. Now, implements used for threshing. Using a combine, which is combination of harvester and thresher. Second method is by beating the stalks on the ground to separate seeds from the stalks. You have already studied about this method in the previous classes. Now, let us talk about harvest festivals. You already know about the harvest festivals. These festivals are celebrated all over the India. Can you tell the name of some festivals, which are harvest festivals? Baisakhi in Punjab, Pongal in Tamil Nadu, Bihu in Assam, Onam in Kerala. After harvesting, next step is storage of crop. To protect crop from moisture, insects, rats and microorganisms, storage of crop is an important task. Now, we shall know the ways to do the storage. If it has to be done at small scale, as done by small farmers, grains are stored in jute bags and metallic bins. However, at large scale, storage of grains is done in silos and granaries to protect them from pests like rats and insects. Ways to protect stored food grains at home. We can put dried neem leaves, or we can use sulfase tablets at home. Let us now do the recapitulation. According to seasons, crops can be broadly categorized into two types: Kharif crops and Rabi crops. We have learnt about the various agricultural implements which help us in producing good crop. We learned how to identify healthy and good quality seeds with the help of an activity. We learned that we should use organic manure in place of fertilizers. Giving water to the fields at regular intervals is called irrigation. Appropriate storage of grains is an important task. Students, now we expect that you have learned the whole process. And now I will ask some questions from you. First question. Growing same kind of plants at large scale is called, options are crop, agriculture, field. The correct answer is crop. Now the second question. Name any two Kharif crops. Answer is rice and groundnut. Next question. What is the name given to the unwanted plants that grow along with the crops? Answer is weeds. Okay. Now name any two weedicides. Answer is 2,4-D and Butachlor. Tick the correct option. Those seeds which float in water are, options are unhealthy or healthy. So answer is unhealthy. Those seeds which float in water are unhealthy. Next question. Why it is important to loosen the soil? What is the name for the process? Answer is the loosened soil allow the roots to breathe easily even when they go deep. And this process of loosening fields is called tilling or plowing. What are the advantages of irrigation? Answer. It helps in germination of seeds. It maintains the moisture of the soil. Select the harvest festival of Punjab. Options are Pongal, Bihu, Baisakhi, Holi. True. The answer is Baisakhi. Now, name any two harvesting implements. Answer is sickle and at large scale harvester. With this we finish our chapter. I hope that you have understood the chapter. Now go through the chapter once again and attempt the exercise given in your textbook. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks a lot, students.